Titletown, it's Green Bay, back your town, matter hey, sacrifice the price we pay, never back down, ain't no way, champions in every way, leaders aren't born, they are made, fight for greatness every day, it's Titletown, USA, go Pack go, 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 go Pack go.
What is up, guys? It's Ryan with the Packers Hub, and today we're just going to go through a bunch of different stories of what's going on in Packerland right now. First off, I just wanted to give a shout out to Clinton Dix. A lot of fucking people in this world like to talk about change and how we need change, and is just a guy that goes out and grabs life by the balls and fucking does it. He graduated from Alabama just a couple days ago. He was an intern. He was a judge, intern, some shit like that. He was interning to be a judge. You know, a lot of people like to talk about change, but is actually doing it by becoming a judge, graduating from college, you know, all this shit. You know, so props to Really happy for him. Really glad that he accomplished what he has. And that being said, let's pick it up on the field this year, bud. I have no doubt that he will, though. I also want to address not drafting an outside linebacker. Now, I wanted Harold Landry in the first round. That was my guy. But do I think that outside linebacker is critical right now? No, I don't think it's critical. Because, and now, trust me, I know about Clay and Nick and their injuries just as much as everybody else does. But they're both coming back. They're for the moment they'll be healthy. So we still have Clay, we still have Nick, we have the first pick of the 4th round from last year and Vince Beagle. We have Reggie Gilbert coming back, who looked like a man possessed at the end of last season. High hopes for Reggie Gilbert. Not high hopes, not Von Miller hopes, but 6-7 sack hopes. I'd like to say for Reggie Gilbert, which I think is pretty high for him. When Reggie Gilbert was coming, when we signed him as an undrafted free agent, and I started watching him from college, I'm like, this dude can make the goddamn team. And then he ended up being on the practice squad for 2 years. And I don't know what in the hell took us so long to bring him up last year when Kyler Fackrell was getting his fucking ass kicked. Every time he was in, he was getting buried. And then Reggie Gilbert comes in, and he's a complete badass. He's in the quarterback's face almost every snap that he's on the field. He's making plays. And the whole season we have Kyler Fackrell getting dominated. I think that is a complete missed talent evaluation by the coaches. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. But now, looks like they finally realized that Reggie's good. So we still have him, and then we still have Fackrell, which Fackrell sucks, but maybe he makes a third-year leap, and he actually is decent this year, which I am not expecting at all. But he was a third-rounder, so the coaches are still going to give him a shot. So we still have those guys. I like Clay and Nick. I'm the leader of the Nick Perry bandwagon. I'm the biggest Nick Perry fan. When we picked him, the year that we picked him in the draft, I was sitting there on my couch. I'm like, fuck, we're going to pick Courtney Upshaw, but I want Nick Perry so bad. He was like my favorite player in the draft. I was way more into the combine back then, and Nick Perry, he ran a 4.5 at 270, and he had like a 38-inch vertical, I mean, this guy he had 35 reps on the bench. Oh my God, he was just like the perfect athlete. And like watching his film, I just fell in love with him. He's like one of my favorite players in the class. So we're sitting there, and it's like, fuck, we're gonna take Courtney Upshaw. The Packers turn in their thing, and I'm just waiting, because Courtney Upshaw was, I don't know, he was like the 15th overall prospect on Mayock's big board or some shit like that. I'm like, oh fuck, the Packers are gonna take him. Like he slid a couple picks. I can't remember where we were picking. I think it was like around like the early 20s. But then so I'm just like, fuck, here we go. Just say Courtney Upshaw, let's get it over with. And then it's like Nick Perry, and I freaked the fuck out. I love Nick Perry. I'm the leader of the Nick Perry bandwagon. But that being said, this guy is breaking his hands. He's breaking his hands every year. Like, he must have glass hands. He's always hurt. He always has the club on his hand. It's like, Nick, what the fuck is going on, dude? This guy's going to have mad arthritis later in life. But it's just like, all right, what we have to account for, and why I thought Harold Landry would have been awesome, is because we have to account for Clay and Nick being out a combined 3, 4, 5, 6 games. We have to account for that. They're not playing all 16. And even if they were to play all 16, it wouldn't be healthy. They'd be going out there nursing some kind of injury, which like all guys are, but them it would be more than most. So we have to account for them missing at the very least, a combined 4 games. We have to account for that. So then, like, right now as the depth chart looks, it's like, oh, wow, look, we got solid depth at outside linebacker. Reggie Gilbert's a guy on the upswing, and Vince Beagle is a promising second-year player who never really got a chance. He even detailed, he's like, man, I never even got a chance to practice. He's like, my first game, I had 1 padded practice in the NFL because he was on the PUP list during training camp the whole time. And then he was out for the first 8 weeks because we had him on the PUP. So he's out for the first 8 weeks of the season, and he had 1 padded practice before he played in his first NFL game. This guy never even had a chance to practice against NFL players or anything before he was just thrown into the fire. So he gets his chance to go through a whole training camp. He gets to practice against NFL guys every single day. I think it would be really good for him. So we got 2 promising backups, and obviously Clay has a proven track record. And honestly, I thought when he was on the field, he looked pretty goddamn explosive. And he was getting to the quarterback pretty fast, but our secondary was so bad that passes were still being completed. Guys were getting open right away because of how poor our secondary is playing. But that's another point about the secondary. Anyway, Clay was still getting home. And if Nick's hands don't fucking break, if he doesn't break both of his hands, then I think like it looks like a good group playing at outside linebacker. Clay, and then his backup Reggie, and then you got Nick and his backup Vince. It looks pretty solid. But, like I said, you have to account for Clay and Nick missing at least a combined 4 games because they're always good for it. They're always going to miss some time. So, was it imperative that we get an outside linebacker? No. But it probably would have been wise. And then you probably got one guy in the back, hey, we got Kendall Donnerson. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Kendall Donnerson is by no means even a lock to make the roster. Was he a draft pick? Yes. Do draft picks get higher preference when it comes to making a roster as opposed to undrafted players? Yeah. But 7th rounder, late 7th rounder, and might be one of the best athletes on the Packers. This guy played punt gunner at his college. I mean, that's pretty fucking incredible for a D end. But, we went through his athleticism on the last show, but by no means is he even a lock to make the roster, and I expect absolutely nothing from Kyler Fackrell. Absolutely nothing. I think he might get cut this offseason. You know what? I might take that back. I think I expect Kendall Donnerson to take Kyler Fackrell's spot this year on the roster, because Kyler Fackrell sucks ass. Book it. He might not make the roster this year. I think that's something we might have to consider. Moving on. Who will start at running back? Now, to me, from a pure runner, I think Aaron Jones is the number one running back. I think he's RB1. Jamal Williams, he's going to grind out yards, but he doesn't have that quickness that Aaron Jones has. He doesn't have the vision that Aaron Jones has. He doesn't have the wiggle. He doesn't have... He's just not as good of a runner. Now, in terms of pass protection, Aaron Jones, dude, you need to work on it. That's the only thing that's holding them back. I mean, Jamal Williams is a better pass blocker than Aaron Jones. And when you're playing next to Aaron Rodgers, you got to keep him clean. So, is it the biggest glaring thing ever? No, it's not. He's a damn good running back. But something he's got to work on. But like I said, I mean, Aaron Jones, he just has a propensity to make shit happen, to make big plays, get big runs, find the hole. I mean, this guy, just watching him last year, he was incredible. Jamal Williams, I liked him more and more as the season went on. It started out where, like, this guy would... he would just lower his shoulders and run into the offensive line and churn out like 2 yards. Like, that was his MO at the beginning of the season. But as the season progressed, he started learning how to be an NFL running back, how to find the holes, shit like that. And you saw a steady progression from him. And I'll be honest, he was a better receiver out of the backfield than Aaron Jones. We all expected Aaron Jones to come in and be the pass-catching threat out of the backfield, but in large part it was Jamal Williams. And the stats reflect that. I wrote an article that I'm going to be posting at the Packers Hub about this, about the starting running back situation, and it's got all the fucking stats and shit. And the stats reflect that Jamal Williams was a way better pass catcher coming out of the backfield than Aaron Jones was. And that's really surprising because Jones is the better athlete, and Jamal Williams never really displayed any of that pass catching ability at BYU. Did he catch passes? Yeah, he caught fucking passes, but it wasn't like a Le'Veon Bell or, you know, one of those fucking dudes. So, but yeah, he looked damn good coming out of the backfield catching passes. And I think regardless of who starts, it's a hell. We're forgetting about Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery still, I mean, that game that he had against the Bears was, it seemed like every time the dude touched the ball, he was ripping off 10, 20-yard runs. He couldn't be stopped. So, yeah, it's going to be one of the most interesting battles in camp next to the wide receiver battle. I think those two battles are going to be like, Jesus fuck. And whoever emerges as the starting running back, it's going to be like, all right, well, you earned it. Because Aaron Jones is a badass. Ty Montgomery has the potential to be a badass. And Jamal Williams, he's pretty badass too. So whoever we go with at starting running back, I'd be completely fine with. Now, I'm not a huge running back by committee guy. Like, I don't want these guys to, like, all be seeing the field. Well, I mean, like, I want them to all be seeing the field, but, like, I don't want them all to get, like, 8 carries a game. Like, Aaron Jones gets 9 carries a game, and Jamal gets 6, and Ty gets 5. Like, no, fuck that. We got to have one guy that's getting, like, 15, 20. And then a guy below him that's getting, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like that. I think Ty's best suited to be our third down back. Yeah, I like Aaron Jones as the best runner. He is the best runner out of the three. And Ty Montgomery's got a lot of pass catching ability, being a former wide receiver. And so does Jamal Williams, not a former wide receiver, but still has a lot of pass catching ability as he displayed last year. And so I envision the depth chart looking something like Aaron Jones, number 1, Jamal Williams, number 2, and then Ty Montgomery coming in on third downs. So take that what you will. I'll post the article at thepackershub.com and give it a read if you want. If you don't, then whatever. I don't give a shit. But another thing I wanted to talk about, what's Aaron Rodgers' new deal going to look like? Matt Ryan just got $100 million guaranteed. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know what to say to that. $100 million guaranteed. So Aaron Rodgers, I don't think it's going to be any lower than $35 million guaranteed a year. So what is that? 35 a year. Oh my fucking god. Dude. What is that? $140 million guaranteed for 4 years? Because 35 plus 35 is 70, and that's 2. So then 70 plus 70 is 140. Oh my god, could you imagine? Alright, I'm going to taper that down a little bit. Alright, so I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to get like $120 million guaranteed, which is fucking unreal. And I don't know, man. Our cap situation is going to be... It's going to be really interesting because we had Aaron Rodgers for like what, $21 million? What's his contract? Or like he was getting paid 21. He got paid $21 million last year. Now that's a fucking bargain compared to the NFL today. Matthew Stafford getting 27 and Jimmy Garoppolo getting 27.5, and then Kirk Cousins getting 28, and now Matt Ryan getting 30. So getting Aaron Rodgers for $21 million last year, I mean, that's a fucking steal. But now, dude, his cap hit is going to be so insane. Like, I don't even know how we're going to manage the cap. And then, like, next year, when we're not signing any free agents, people will be like, why the fuck are we not signing free agents? Because, like, we're paying all of our money to Aaron Rodgers. How the fuck are we going to sign anybody? I don't know. We're really gonna have to kill it in the fucking draft because Aaron Rodgers is gonna be eating so much of that cap, and he can really just get a blank check from the Packers and write his number. We're not letting him go. I mean, so we're really gonna give him whatever he wants, and our cap is just gonna be, I don't know. I don't even fucking know. I don't want to think about it. At least we have Aaron Rodgers. That's all I give a fuck about. But moving on. So this is what I thought was interesting. And this is what pisses me off about people who don't even take time to watch even a highlight video for a player. According to Chris Knox of Bleacher Report, Jomon Moore will be the Packers' biggest rookie flop. Okay? Let's see his reasoning. He has less than ideal speed. Cites that he ran a 4.6 at the combine. Now, even Jomon Moore was like, dude, I never ran a 4.6 in my life. I can't believe I did that at the combine. So, like, obviously, and these guys are up like 20 hours a day. They hardly get any sleep. They're constantly moving, going from drills to meetings with coaches and all this shit. I mean, they're constantly moving. They're fucking drained. How some of these guys are able to run like 4.2s and 4.3s honestly fucking blows my mind. But, I chalked that 4.6 up to just him being fucking tired, all the fucking bullshit he has to deal with at the combine. Like I said, I'm not a combine guy anyway. You watch his fucking film, the guy runs fast. You want a time? 4.49 at his pro day. At his pro day, he ran 4.49. Even the Packers said, John Eric Sullivan, one of their scouts, he's like, yeah, we think he's plenty fast. Did you see his time at his pro day? 4.49? Yeah, plenty fast. We thought that his pro day speed matched his tape speed. Which, you watch the fucking game tape, the guy plays fast. He was like a deep threat at Missouri. Give me a fucking break, less than ideal speed. Another thing they said, poor route running will limit him. Fuck you. That was the best thing about Jomon Moore. That was the best thing about him. Is his you want a fucking combine number, Mr. fucking Christopher Knox? Here's a fucking combine number. 6.53 cone. One of the best out of all the receivers in the entire draft. Guy has excellent change of direction. He's a great route runner. Is he the best route runner in the class? Probably not. That's probably Calvin Ridley. But he's a damn good route runner. And you want to talk about combine numbers? Like I said, 6.53 cone. One of the best in the entire class. So fuck you, dude. You don't even know what you're talking about. Watch the goddamn film. This guy's excellent running slants. He's got great change of direction. Watch some fucking film, asshole. I get it. Missouri's offense was a fucking spread, Baylor-type offense, Bryce Petty-type fucking offense. But watch the fucking film. The guy's quick in and out of his breaks. He runs good routes. The guy looks like fucking Devontae. He looks like Devontae at Fresno State. It just gets on my fucking nerves when guys don't even take a millisecond to even watch a highlight video. It's like you would have seen him run great routes in his fucking highlight video, and then you turn on the film and you see him doing it all the time, even when he doesn't get thrown to. Chris Knox, fuck you. All right, so McCarthy says Kaiser would have been a first-round pick this year. Yeah, Josh Allen went first round. I don't know why this is such like a big story right now. Kaiser would have gone round 1. Yeah, he would have. Fucking Josh Allen went round 1. Like, give me a fucking break. Lamar Jackson went round 1. And there was talk at one point in time about Deshaun Kaiser going number 1 overall last year. So I don't even think that this is controversial. Like, yeah, Kaiser would have gone round 1 this year. Easily. All right. Moving on. Justin Vogel asked for his release, and fuck, man, I get it. I fucking get it. Like, we drafted... The deck is stacked against him. We drafted J.K. Scott. Specialists that are drafted have an enormous advantage over the current punter, kicker, whatever the fuck, lawn snapper, whatever it may be, whatever specialist position. They have an enormous advantage over those guys because we use draft capital on JK. So Justin Vogel is probably just like, oh fuck, dude, like they used a 5th round pick on that guy. What fucking chance do I have? And Justin Vogel was good. And as stupid as it sounds, I was kind of looking forward to that punting battle to get the best guy. Because Justin Vogel was pretty fucking good last year. But J.K. Scott he's a fucking animal. I know everyone's seen the clip where J.K. Scott like booms a 60-yard punt past Jalen Marshall's head when Alabama faced Ohio State in like the Cotton Bowl or whatever in the first inaugural playoff. That fucking punt was unreal, and that guy does it regularly. His punting coach even had to dial him back and say, hey man, you're out kicking the coverage. So yeah, J.K. Scott's a badass, but I was really looking forward to camp battle. Because, maybe Justin Vogel is better at pinpointing where the ball goes than J.K. So, I don't know. I was really looking forward to that camp battle to get, like, the best punter. Because for a while, we were just... Well, we had Tim Masthay. But before Tim Masthay, it was like every year was a different punter. We could not get any stability at punter. And then Tim Masthay comes along. But then he started sucking, so then we bring in Vogel, and Vogel was like a Pro Bowl alternate. Someone said that. I don't know if that's true. I don't remember. But if he was, the guy was like, so if he was a Pro Bowl alternate, it's like, yeah, dude, I would have really liked to see who emerged out of that battle, JK or Vogel. But I guess we won't know. Moving on, Quentin Rollins to safety. I'm 100% leading the bandwagon for that. Let's move Q to safety. 100%. And that I was leading the bandwagon for them to do that with Demaryius. Last offseason, I was thinking, hey, man, if Morgan Burnett ends up leaving in free agency next year, why not kick HaHa to strong safety and then kick Demaryius to free safety? That's his natural position. I think he's probably going to be damn good with the Browns playing at free safety. That's his natural position. He was a safety that was forced to play corner because of his athleticism. I think it makes all the sense in the world, the Browns moving him to safety. But yeah, let's move Quentin Rollins to safety. There was a piece on the Packers Wire, and I remember this very strongly from when we drafted both of these guys. I'm like, we drafted two guys that were projected to play safety in the NFL. I mean, Demarius Randall was the number 1 safety for Mike Mayock, I think, and Quentin Rollins was the number 4 safety. So I'm 100%, and Quentin Rollins doesn't really have like the short area quickness that you need for a nickel corner or like a slot cornerback. So I really like the idea of kicking him back to safety and seeing what he can do there. I mean, it's really his last shot to make the roster after the draft, because we got Jair, we got Josh Jackson, we brought in Tremont, we brought Devon House back. I mean, this is Q's last shot at making the roster, really. He might be, like we talked about, Kyler Fackrell maybe getting kicked to the curb. Let's take a look at Quentin Rollins. If this guy doesn't show out this year in camp or in the preseason, he might be gone too. So I think a move to safety would definitely suit him. It would definitely suit his play style. He's a willing tackler, and he's got good ball skills. Go back and watch his tape from Miami of Ohio, where he played corner there, but you could see elements where it's like, oh yeah, he'd probably get moved to safety in the NFL. Didn't have the fastest 40. Didn't have the best 3-cone. Quentin Rollins to safety 2018. All right. One thing I need to completely dispel anybody talking about this since the draft is a numbskull. Like, people are still writing articles about this as if like it could still happen. Dez Bryant is not coming to the Green Bay Packers. We just drafted 3 6'3" and above wide receivers. Why the fuck would we bring Dez Bryant into Green Bay? That makes no sense. The guy's obviously, his personality isn't for everybody. So he would obviously cause some kind of problems in the locker room. Maybe, potentially. I have no fucking idea. I'm speculating. But might be a locker room problem guy. Is demanding way more money than we're probably willing to pay. There was a report that he got offered a 1-year deal for $7 million, turned it down. We're not paying him more than $7 million. Are you fucking kidding me? Especially after all the draft capital that we spent on wide receivers. We drafted 3 wide receivers. Dez Bryant is not coming to Green Bay. Last thing I wanted to say, the NFL Top 100 is a joke. As we all know. David Bakhtiari at 91. He's the best left tackle in the league. Now that Joe Thomas is gone, D-back is the best left tackle in the league. Graded out as the number 1 pass blocker for Pro Football Focus. The number one, far and away. And he graded out as the best overall left tackle. He's the best left tackle in the league. He's at 91. Think about how much left tackles are getting paid. It's a premium position. Think about how high they get drafted in the NFL draft. Now look at D-back. Best left tackle in the league. Comes in at 91. Fuck you. Fuck you. Whoever voted on that shit is obviously an idiot. And I remember TJ Lane. It was either TJ Lane or Josh Sitton. One of those guys said, I think the reporters were asking him, hey, who'd you vote for the top 100? Or like, how do you vote for the top 100? How do you take into account how to vote for it? And they're like, I don't. I remember most of the guys just threw it away. Most guys don't even vote on this shit. So, dude, it's so stupid. D-back is not the 91st best player in the NFL. He's the number one left tackle in the NFL. He should be... that's a good question. Where should he be? Probably, definitely top 30. I'd say best left tackle in the league, definitely a top 30 player. So, yeah, throw him in the top 30 somewhere. He's the best left tackle in the league. Jesus Christ, 91. All right, guys. I think that's all I got for today. I just gathered like everything that was being talked about, and I wanted to give my spin on it. Again, congratulations to Haha. Dude, I'm very impressed with Haha as a person. A lot of people talk about changing shit, and he actually does it. Graduates from college, interns as a judge. Good for him. Good for him, man. So that's all I got for today, guys. I will talk to you again next week. Go Pack Go.